let's talk about yesterday.
Let's do it.
The Commanders practiced against the New York Jets.
Mm-hmm.
The New York Jets have some real talent. Quinnen Williams is a stud. C.J. Mosley's a stud. Sauce Gardner might be the best corner in the NFL. Garrett Wilson sure looks like he could be a star. Breece Hall's considered to be among the best running backs in football. They got a tackle that's probably going to Canton in Tyron Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And another guy that, for whatever reason, got ran out of town here, which was dumb, but a guy that's been
Dude's still a starter in the league, isn't he?
Probably a decade-long starter, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Morgan Moses.
Yes.
And I say all this not to salute the Jets or act like they're the 85 Bears or something, the 91 Skins. They're not, but they've got some talent. And I think we've got to understand that Washington, it was just last season. I don't know how people have forgotten this already, but last season they went 4-13 and didn't have a single person make the Pro Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't 5 years ago. That wasn't 10 years ago. That was last season.
Mm-hmm.
Now they've added a really exciting rookie quarterback. They've overhauled the roster, but most of that overhaul is 1 year kind of veteran Band-Aid players.
Mm-hmm.
We have been honest about every step of this process, right?
Mm-hmm.
They want to rebuild this thing the correct way for the long term through the draft.
Yeah.
And yet there's a practice yesterday, which I don't know, and maybe you guys could tell me because I was there and it was raining like hell, and then we were kind of scrambling around because we had the Nats rain delay fire drill and everything.
Yeah.
I want to be unequivocal. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything. The Jets were the better team on the practice field on August 8th in all three phases.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
if anybody thinks I'm not telling the truth, I am telling you that truth.
Okay,
the Jets were better, but it's also a practice on August 8th.
Yeah, it's a practice with a group of people that have been together for like a year or two. Most of those guys, this team is just coming together, and I think this is the problem where every time we draft someone, and it's not the player's fault, it's not the team's fault, it's the damn fans' fault, because I don't think by no stretch of the imagination, no one on that team has said that we're going to be here or this guy's going to save us, but every player, every fan thinks that way. So you going against a team, and as you stated that they have a lot of good players on that team. Look, they went 6-11 last year. Why? Because ultimately, if Aaron Rodgers was there, they would not have gone 6-11. They would have double digits wins, I guarantee you. Okay? And I don't like a lot of his stuff off the field. On the field, Duke can damn play football.
Yeah.
So they are a good team, but we assume automatically, oh, we got Jayden. Oh, we're going to win games. Jayden don't play defense.
Jayden don't block anybody.
Jayden don't kick field goals. Jayden don't block for himself. We got Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner is not catching the ball and blocking for the quarterback. So you got to understand that this team has to grow and be built as a team, not just individuals that we all of a sudden lose our minds over. Listen, I am a believer in both of the guys I just named, but I also understand Bobby does nothing without that front doing some good stuff in front of him, and Jayden does absolutely nothing if that offensive line cannot protect himself.
I think that's well said. So there's a few things that I've seen kind of like emerge. So I tweeted this out last night because I was kind of just surprised by the reaction. And I guess this is what I wanted to ask. I guess the Jets were live streaming portions of this practice, right, on their YouTube page.
They did that earlier, and then all of a sudden it went away.
Stopped, right?
Yeah, it went away completely.
Okay.
After the stretching, it was gone.
Right. Like, because I know to us, to the media, they shut down all sorts of photography. Anybody with a camera got a talking to that nothing was available to be shot anymore. As soon as, like, before they even got into one-on-ones. So I don't know how much people could have seen from the live stream, right? For people to draw these conclusions. And then you're getting conclusions drawn from social media, from people that are there. And dude, I'm not trying to change anyone's opinion of what they didn't see. I saw it. The Jets were the better team, period. There were some highlights for Washington. This was not What was the score when Tom Brady's year when they just rolled it up on Joe Gibbs and the Skins? You remember that? Wasn't it like 53 to 6?
It was 50-something to 6 or 7, something like that. 52-7.
Like, I have seen ass kickings. I was in FedEx at halftime last year when it was 27-3 to the Chicago Bears. Like I know what an ass kicking looks like. Yesterday was a football practice, and there's a big difference.
Yeah.
The Jets were better, and if people want to make this condemnation of Emanuel Forbes, okay.
But see, let's be real.
It seems way too.
No. I think what you got to understand.
Singled into Forbes.
It goes to Forbes because he had a bad year last year. Okay. And let's be real. We in this industry play a part in what fans think. The people saw that because that was tweeted out. And by who? I don't care. Didn't even look to see. But when you put that out there and you say, oh man, look at this. And then the fans start making their comments about it, and then it starts to go viral, it makes it seem like, oh man, he got destroyed. One play. So I say this all the time, and I say we in the industry, in this media industry, have a duty to not only bring news but educate, and don't get caught up in the just trying to put stuff out there to get a lot of people to see what we put out, because I think that is what happened yesterday. I saw a lot of little tweets go out that ended up being stuff that people lost their minds over.
Yeah, and listen, man, I'm not trying to change what happened. Forbes did not have a good practice. He didn't. Like, I was there, I watched it. But most of the secondary didn't. And like, we're going into this season, and it's pretty obvious they've got potentially problems in the secondary and on the offensive line. We like, none of that's a surprise. Going into the season, we all knew they might have problems in the secondary and on the offensive line. And in turn, so people are freaking out over largely stuff they didn't see, but they've just determined that everything sucks now. And they claim, like, I had this dude, Brian Lacey, and we had like a back and forth, and I'm okay with that.
Uh-huh.
He said, I hear it every day on your show, the Junkies, Grant and Danny. It's why haven't they named the starter yet? Jayden is playing, but they didn't say. Every day there's this drama. I don't know what you determine to be drama. I think Jayden yesterday, what impressed me most is he barely had any time to throw, and he never looked shaken. Like, there are times when a young quarterback in that scenario would be in over his head, right?
Uh-huh.
And in a rough, he didn't throw a pick, I don't believe. Now, I do think at least one time for sure there would have been a sack fumble because the DN got around the corner so fast he was able to slap the ball out of Jayden's hand.
Uh-huh.
But like, Jayden, my most important takeaway from yesterday, Jayden didn't drown in a situation where he didn't have what we assumed to be either of his starting tackles. The Jets pass rush was vicious. It was dumping rain. It's the first time he's seen competition from another team. It wasn't great, but he didn't drown. The offense would have moved somewhat.
But the thing of it is, this notion, and I'll say to the guy, you may hear drama on some shows. I guarantee you don't hear no damn drama on this show, especially from me, about naming a starting quarterback on August 8th or 9th. Okay? Because it doesn't make a difference. I had a chance to, and when we talk to the coordinators and the head coach behind the scenes, they give us a little bit more information when we try and talk to the media and things like that. And then people, they understand what they're doing and they have a plan. But to sit here and act as if I have to say that he's the starter today, and it's not to justify anything on the team because the team knows who the damn starter is going to be. It's to justify those people that are banging that damn drum to make them look a certain way. Because ultimately, they are not playing certain guys this weekend that probably could play. They're not playing them right now because you know what? they want to see other guys play because that's what you really – this training camp is not for the guys that you already know are going to be starters or who've been there and done it for you and been around the league a long time. Training camp is for guys to find out who can be – what you talk about, depth, okay? One thing that Joe Witt was talking about, when they went to a Super Bowl before, 16 to 18 of their guys who started the season were hurt when they made it to the Super Bowl. And you know why he had the certain guys playing in the game? Because he saw them play. If you play all the damn starters in preseason, then guess what you don't see? You don't see the young guys that can actually play that you want to keep around. But those guys still were able to go perform for him. So I think a lot of times what fans do, fans are caught on sayings, narratives, and they run with it. Stop letting people lead you down a rabbit hole and start trying to understand the game and learn better what people are trying to do. Because if you go out there right now, if you try to do everything for those shows that want to sit up here and act like you got to do stuff to impress them, and for every fan that wants you to just do this, you won't have a damn person starting on first day. Okay? They're trying to at least get some people. But what I love about them, they're not putting everybody in bubble wrap.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different things here. Yesterday, certainly they didn't have people in bubble wrap. Not having Coleman and Wiley, presumably your top two tackles, is really going to impact your offense. And sure enough, yesterday, it really impacted their offense. Defensively, they're trying to rebuild this thing on the fly with a lot of veterans.
Mm-hmm.
I do think perhaps we need to have a specific Emanuel Forbes conversation. If you want to boil this to, did Ron and them make a mistake taking Forbes over Gonzalez? I'll say yes. I said it at the time. I say it now.
I don't think we completely know that right now. Gonzalez got hurt last year, didn't he?
Yeah.
He could have got hurt.
He only played like 5 games.
So we don't know that for sure right now. I can tell you
fair.
one thing, though. Ron never held nobody accountable. And I'm not going to sit up here and blame players because they don't hold them accountable. But I tell you one thing right now. I know for sure. His ass is going to be held accountable with this staff. So if he can play, and his reason for being drafted because he's a ball hawk and a ball skill guy, he better start touching the football.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's easy now to act like everything is about Emanuel Forbes. He's one of 11 dudes on the field. Like, it's not the entire 2024 season will not rise or fall due to Emanuel Forbes. And to your point, Brian, last year they had to bench him. I think these guys won't give him the same opportunities to be embarrassed like the last guys did.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it goes poorly, they'll make an adjustment sooner. But I don't understand. I guess for me, where I've been confused here is, like, folks are ready to pack it in because of a practice on August 8th. What the hell were you expecting? This team was 4-13 last year, fired everybody, have a completely new staff top to bottom, a rookie quarterback. They still have like $40 million under the cap. They openly tell you they're rebuilding this thing for the long haul.
Yeah.
What the hell were you expecting?
But
like,
see,
like anybody talking about Houston needs to get their brain checked.
But here you go, though, Jay. When the positive things were being put out, people say, "Oh, we can't just react to them just putting out the positive." Did you not hear that? Now they come out with one negative thing, and now it's an end-all, be-all. And I think what you have to understand, this is where the adults have to start to act like adults. Just because somebody on Twitter who we don't know or who somebody don't know lose their damn mind doesn't mean that you got to deal with that a lot, because that's what Twitter is about. That's what social media is about. Somebody making the most outlandish BS statements that they can, because you know what? Nobody knows who the hell they are. So my thing is, it was a bad play that was put out and it went viral. They didn't want to listen to the good plays that were happening, though. So if you're not going to give both of them the same type of energy, then why should we give it the same energy?
What I don't understand is, I tweeted this out last night because I was getting just an incredible amount of
hate.
Like, No, not hate. Just people are flipping out, right?
Huh?
And all I said is I think some folks are making far too much of a practice on August 8th in the rain. They don't play for a month. It's the beginning of a rebuild. The sky ain't falling. There's a lot of football left.
And the first statement you had was a 2-word statement?
Yo, my man, I'm going to shout him out because I thought it was awesome. Some dude just replied, my DMV Rel just replied, bleep you. And I was like, what the hell, dude? I think I love the passion of this fan base. I love it. I think people
but the fact that he
out.
immediately apologized tells me he was just trying to get a rise out of you.
Man, I'm cool with that guy.
But I'm saying
you can say bleep you.
He was trying to get a rise out of you. Some of those other people, the other comments I saw, don't have a clue.